Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Live broadcast. Help, Demon King wants to force me to live with her. Suchen traveled through time, accompanied by a childhood friend named the Demon King. As soon as she returned from studying abroad, her parents arranged for her to live with the Demon King. On the way, he refused the Demon King who came to pick him up. Unexpectedly, the Demon King drove faster and faster. Demon King. Drive slowly. It's already 120-inch. However, to his surprise, the Demon King suddenly sighed and said, "Hey, living is really boring. Unless you live with me." The next speaker trembled and said, "You agree with her, please." Suchen. So Suchen began to live together with the Demon King Sheng. However, within a few days, he felt something was amiss between the two women. Until, he saw a book on his desk titled, "How to Please a Boy He Likes." That's it, these two women really don't have good intentions. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Demon King. Will not live together. I'll go get. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Demon King. Will not live together. I'll go send him away. Magic City. Xianxie Garden Building A. It's about my boyfriend again. Mom, you've said it n times these past few days, my ears are all calloused. The Demon King held the phone with a helpless expression on his face. The live broadcast room was also in chaos. A few days ago, my mother had been talking on the phone about this matter. She was too excited and forgot to turn off the microphone, so the truth came out. She dares not become the Pigeon King these days, afraid that fans will think she will secretly get married. Her mother's voice came from the phone. "Xiaoyu, Mom really won't choose the wrong one for you. Have you forgotten about Su Chen's child? That's the one you used to play with behind people when you were young, and even said you wanted to marry them when you grew up." As soon as these words were spoken, the Demon King was in a flurry, almost throwing out his phone without even holding it steady. She quickly covered her phone receiver and called out to stop. "Pooh, pooh, pooh. Mom, how long ago was that? When I was a child, I didn't understand and talked nonsense. How could you take it seriously?" She secretly glanced at the barrage and it was indeed chaotic. A feeling of despair emerged from the bottom of her heart, making her face look bitter. At this moment, the voice on the other side of the phone suddenly sank. "At that time, you were already 14 or 15 years old, were you still called a sensible child? If it weren't for the Su family moving out later, I think you all have 3 or 4 children now. Listen, Su Chen just returned from studying abroad today," said the Demon King's mother with a serious and comforting tone. "Good looks, good conditions, and excellent people. You must seize this opportunity well, otherwise it won't be your turn in a few days." The Demon King felt very low-hearted. "My mother thinks she's too cheap, right? She is a girl in her 20s, with millions of followers online. The savings are already in the millions. Even if it's not particularly impressive, it's still outstanding among girls of the same age in public, okay? And she thinks her appearance and figure are also okay. I don't know how many people are looking for her to date when this condition is released. Isn't it even worthy of a recent college graduate studying abroad?" Before she could argue back, Mom's incessant voice came back. "Be good, Mom has already agreed for you. Chen has just returned without a place to settle down. You can take him to the house you rented and live together for a period of time. This is a good opportunity to be close to the water tower. Mom's eyes won't be wrong. Su Chen is a relatively introverted child and he definitely doesn't mess around abroad. You can rest assured to get along with him." Actually, the Demon King's mother is also anxious. "My daughter has been working hard outside these years, doing some live streaming. It's really profitable, but she hasn't been focused on finding a partner. She wasn't in a hurry at first, she thought it was just a matter of fate. But my daughter always follows a girl around her. It is said that they still have some mutual liking. She can't sit still. It's okay not to rush to find a partner now, that orientation cannot change. My grandson must be hugged. So she hurriedly contacted the little boy for her daughter. It doesn't matter if you don't have money, the key is having good character. As she spoke, she glanced at the clock hanging on the wall and instructed, "All right, Mom won't disturb you anymore, so as not to delay you from picking up the plane. Hurry up and go." The Demon King was about to refuse, but a beep beep sound came from the phone. The phone just hung up like this. The Demon King suddenly looked speechless. My mother really says everything to the outside world, and these words make fans listen to them word for word. Now the barrage has completely exploded. Wow. My mentality has collapsed. Now the Demon King is going to have a master. I can't accept this marriage. The thief Chow is actually myself. Chen, the old thief. Hate of taking away his wife. Ah. I'm heartbroken. It's over, everything's over. Brothers, see you on the rooftop. Demon King, you scammer. A few days ago, you didn't say you were a childhood sweetheart. When you were 14 or 15 years old, you secretly fell in love with someone. This is called a childhood joke. It's clearly your first love. At that age, they have also grown up quite well. They wouldn't have already. It's possible. During the budding period of youth, it's your love and my wish, I'm sure it's already. Various speculations have already flown through the barrage. As these barrage comments became increasingly outrageous, the Demon King quickly made a stop gesture. Stop, stop, stop. Ladies and gentlemen, please do your best. When I was 15 years old, everyone was still very conservative. How could it be as vulgar as you think? I'm single until now. She was full of helplessness, thinking back to the past in her heart. I still remember at that time, she voluntarily confessed, but was rejected on the spot by Suchen. At night, she even discussed with her mother about these inexperienced romantic thoughts, and then was sternly told by her mother to study hard and not have early love. Who would have thought that the mother who advised her not to fall in love at that time suddenly changed her mind again? When you were a child, you wouldn't let dating happen, but when you grow up, you force it to happen again. How can there be so many opportunities? How could she still have feelings for Chen after all these years of not seeing each other? To be honest, she just doesn't want her parents to arrange a marriage engagement right now. Especially the arrangements made by her mother made her resistant. She wants to have free love. With this in mind, she made a solemn promise to the fans in the live broadcast room. Don't worry, I'll send Chen away this time, okay? There is a witness from Xiao Yansheng. As she spoke, she ran slowly to the bed behind her. At this moment, Sheng was walking out of the suitcase to get his clothes, and the Demon King suddenly picked them up. I reached out and hugged Sheng's small waist, and my chin also leaned against his shoulder, affectionately rubbing against him. Later, she looked at the camera in the live broadcast room and said, "In order to deal with this matter, I specially invited Sheng to stay at my house for a few days, just for her to help me testify. I will go to the airport to pick him up later and tell Chen that I have no thoughts about him. Let him take a taxi and leave on his own. Xiao Yansheng, I'll be broadcasting it outdoors in the car. Let's watch it carefully then. I absolutely won't let him get in my car. I'll send 4. She confidently raised a hand, as if she was truly swearing to the heavens. Sheng next to him cast a white eye. Sheng is the good friend of the Demon King and often plays cosplay together. Because she usually likes male cosplay characters, she is also a CP with the Demon King, and her relationship is very close. Today, she was brought over by the Demon King to help as a witness. However, She is very familiar with her good friend, and things she has decided on may change her mind at any time. So she solemnly pinched the Demon King's cheek and said, "Rain and rain, now I have hung up all my clothes on a rack. Don't wait until night. If a man brings them back, he will still drive me away. Then I'm going to go crazy." The Demon King waved his hand immediately upon hearing this and said, "Oh, don't worry. How could I possibly do such a thing? I haven't seen that Suchen for many years, and I'm not a crazy girl. How could I still be interested in him? I completely forgot what he looked like at that time. I'll treat you to a big meal when you come back from the airport. We'll talk quietly and sleep at night." Xiao Yansheng continued to tidy up his clothes without saying a word. At this moment, the fans in the live broadcast room were somewhat skeptical. Is it really fake? They came back from studying abroad and are also turtles. You wouldn't be tempted. Are you not afraid of your mother scolding you? This is your mother's order. I'm just waiting in the live broadcast room. Easterners don't deceive Easterners. Seeing the rolling barrage, the Demon King clenched his fist and said solemnly, "Don't worry, my mother didn't give a death order this time, otherwise she will definitely threaten me to unplug my internet cable. As long as I don't threaten my live streaming career, it means my mom isn't that serious either. Alright everyone, I'll go to the airport with Yansheng first." After speaking, the Demon King turned off the live broadcast. She has received a text message from Suchen, stating that she has already disembarked from the plane. So she's going to set off with Yansheng. Chapter 2. Demon King. Have you undergone plastic surgery? So handsome. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 3. Are you not coming to my house? But I'm prepared to. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Are you not coming to my house? But I'm ready. So, this handsome guy is Suchen. Someone gradually confirmed Suchen's identity in the barrage of the live broadcast room. No, I can't accept it. How come he looks so handsome? Damn it, brothers, I feel like a pill. This looks too good. Let's have a plastic surgery. Believe in the Demon King. The Demon King is a person with principles. To be honest, the Demon King is beautiful and wealthy. If I had his appearance, I would definitely do my best to become a Demon King. A group of fans began to speculate in the barrage area. Anyway, they cannot accept this fact, and some even start to feel sour. It's over, it's over. The Demon King and that Suchen seem to have a good atmosphere. Yansheng, why don't you say something? Where's Yansheng? Why are you fooled? Your wife was robbed. Yansheng has misogyny, so he must hate Suchen to the bone now. Yansheng, you have a word to say. At this moment, Yansheng looked at Suchen by the window and suddenly felt that a switch seemed to be on. It's really amazing. She actually has some special mental illness. Overall, there is some aversion towards the opposite sex. When it's serious, I don't even want to see men at all. It was only after getting to know the Demon King in recent years that I gradually improved, but I still have a strong aversion to boys. But she was surprised to find that this feeling had not been found in Suchen. Perhaps it was because she was quite far away, or maybe it was because Suchen's gaze at the Demon King was full of warmth, and she always felt that she couldn't hate Suchen. And there's also some envy towards the Demon King. She had a premonition that the Demon King might change his mind again this time. In the coffee shop. A waiter placed the coffee in front of the Demon King, and secretly began to compare with him. Then he returned to his work post feeling lost and lost. She knew that if she wore the clothes of the Demon King on herself, she would definitely not be as tempting as the Demon King. No wonder the handsome guy didn't provide his contact information. It seems that the famous grass has taken over. The foreign ladies around also paled in disappointment. Suchen saw the Demon King staring at him in a daze, so he spoke up and reminded him, "Light rain, coffee." "Oh. The Demon King picked up his coffee and took a sip, but still stared at Suchen's face with a silly smile on his face. Her mind recalled the scene of confessing to Suchen back then. If only Suchen had promised me at that time. She not only thinks so. Suchen smiled and said, "Auntie said, have you been doing well in the live streaming industry in recent years?" "Of course. Let's not see whose sister is either. We'll treat you to a big meal tonight." The Demon King straightened his chest and almost wrote the words, "proud," on his face. When Suchen saw the Demon King mention having dinner at night, he spoke up and said, "Xiaoyu, you don't have to worry about staying at your house temporarily. My mother is a bit too forced on you." The Demon King quickly waved his hand and said, "No, no, no. I'm already ready. There are many rooms, you can choose whatever you want, and I can also give you my room. Let's go home now." Speaking, she finished drinking tons of coffee and wanted to leave with Suchen. At this moment, she had already thrown her previous bold words into the air. She felt a little excited at the thought of Suchen appearing at home. "This is my mom's arrangement. At this moment, the position of my mother in her mind is the supreme existence. Mom's words, that's the decree." Suchen was somewhat surprised, not expecting that the Demon King did not object. However, there are differences between men and women. He still has some personal matters to do, which makes it inconvenient for him to be with the Demon King. So he politely declined and said, "It's not appropriate for me to go, you're just a girl at home. And, I have found a place to live." Now, the Demon King is foolish. "You found it. But I'm ready." She had already started fantasizing about living with Suchen, but she didn't expect Suchen to change her mind. Suchen nodded and said, "I have a temporary destination." The Demon King suddenly felt disappointed, but her eyes lit up and she said, "Then I'll see you off. I drove here, let's go." Speaking, she didn't give Suchen a chance to refuse, so she grabbed Suchen's hand. "At the very least, you need to know where Suchen is staying, so that you can create a chance encounter." Originally, Suchen intended to take a taxi, but seeing the Demon King's persistence, he had no choice but to agree. At this moment, the fans in the live broadcast room exploded. "I'm Joie. Why did you still hold hands? Let go of the Demon King, let me come." We agreed not to let Suchen board the car. It must be Suchen who insisted on following up. But from what I see in this situation, it seems like the Demon King is trying to pull someone onto the car. The Demon King, why doesn't she have any principles at all? It's over. I'm going to become a bandit in the future. The fans in the live broadcast room are in a mess. Sheng also realized the seriousness of the problem now. "It seems that my good friend is really fragrant." If seen by fans in the live broadcast room, the fans of the Demon King will definitely plummet. Thinking of this, she quickly clicked on the next broadcast. Although fans may ask, there is at least a loophole. So, the entire live broadcast room went black, without any visuals. At the same time, the Demon King also opened the door of the co-pilot. "Suchen, hurry up and get in the car. This is my good friend, Sheng." Sheng, he is Suchen. Introduced the Demon King. Suchen was a bit surprised, she didn't expect to have another girl. And it also looks like a beautiful woman. So he took the initiative to greet and said, "Hello, I'm Suchen. Please take care of me." Sheng was stunned. The sudden appearance of such a handsome guy made her feel a little restless. The key is that the stress response of misogyny is surprisingly quiet now. She felt very nervous and stuttered in response, saying, "You. Hello." Chapter 4. The Demon King plays rogue. forcing me together with Sheng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. The Demon King plays a rogue, forcing me to live with Sheng. Outside the Green Tree Cafe. A BMW slowly started and drove away from the commercial street, merging into a bustling traffic. On the road, Sheng mustered the courage to chat with Suchen. She found that Suchen spoke warmly, and when she smiled, it made people feel like they were basking in spring breeze. After chatting a few words, she learned about the situation. She breathed a sigh of relief when she heard that the Demon King was going to take Suchen to the city center's resting place. As long as they don't live together, they can go back and explain to the fans in the live broadcast room. She thought the Demon King was going to break his promise, but she didn't expect him to have such composure. A handsome guy like Suchen never caught the eye of his good friend. In fact, she thought to herself that if the Demon King didn't want it, she wanted to give it a try. After chatting for a few words, the atmosphere suddenly became somewhat quiet. Sheng secretly scrutinized Suchen from behind, while Suchen took out another book to read. The Demon King was driving his car, his heart in turmoil. She was thinking in her heart, what could be done to make Suchen Ban come to her house? The demon is so big. Although she is the Pigeon King, she can come out every day to create encounters. But it's a bit too troublesome. Just now Suchen told her that the address is in the city center, and the houses she rented are all in the suburbs. Driving back and forth every day takes 3 hours. If we could live together, then everything would be easy to say. Thinking about it, she saw the elevated bridge she was walking home on and came up with a plan. Drive the car directly onto the elevated road. She spoke again and asked, Suchen, my family has everything ready for you. Why don't you think about it again? Upon hearing the words of the Demon King, Sheng was bewildered. Sheng's beautiful eyes were filled with surprise as he looked at his friend. Before leaving, he looked as if it was impossible for Suchen to come. What are you prepared for? Suchen smiled and said, I really don't need it. I have a place to live. After speaking, he continued to read. The Demon King was not discouraged. Women cry, make noise, and hang themselves. She immediately switched to a pleading tone and said, Suchen, my mom has been calling me for several days because of this matter. You can agree to it for my mom's sake. Please, Su. Upon hearing this title, Suchen couldn't help but shiver. He suddenly remembered his childhood Demon King, shouting, Su, behind him every day. Even Sheng in the back row felt goosebumps when he heard the tired and crooked voice of the Demon King. She can see it now. My good friend is clearly motivated by her appearance. Now even the shameless parents have moved out. When I was at home, I didn't want to listen to my parents' arrangements and wanted to have a free love life. Oh, woman. At this moment, Suchen's gentle refusal was heard again. Let's say goodbye. You and Sheng live together. If I move in, it will not be good for both you and Sheng's reputation. Suchen's words immediately filled Sheng's heart with favorable feelings. That's right. This is a gentleman's speech. If it were another man, I would probably be thrilled to hear that he could live with 2 girls. And what Suchen is concerned about is their reputation. This is a great bonus. The Demon King was a bit angry. Again and again, it's already the 3rd time. Even acting coquettish and cute doesn't work, then we're going to make a scene. She stepped on the accelerator with her right foot, and the speed of the BMW car suddenly increased. The performance of this BMW is not bad, and the speed immediately increased by 100 because it's not peak season, there are very few cars on the bridge. And the bridge deck is straight without any bends. Suchen felt a sense of pushing her back, looked up at the road ahead, and reminded, slow down, don't exceed the speed limit. However, the car did not slow down. Sheng, who was playing with his phone later, panicked and said, slow down the light rain, it's too fast. Suchen noticed something was wrong and instinctively glanced at the dashboard, saying, light rain. What are you doing driving so fast? It's already 120, slow down a bit. Hey. At this moment, the Demon King sighed and said lightly, living is really boring. Upon hearing the words of the Demon King, both Suchen and Sheng felt a chill on their backs. Suchen looked at the Demon King next to her, and saw her pink little face full of melancholy, with a somewhat relaxed gaze, a look of being unattainable. I always feel that the world has turned gray and white at this moment. Sheng was stunned and quickly grabbed the armrest on the roof of the car. He trembled and said, You, what's wrong with you? Don't scare me. Suchen couldn't calm down anymore. He has accumulated a lot of wealth in the past 20 years, and he finally came back to enjoy it. He doesn't want to die young yet, Xiaoyu. Have you been under a lot of pressure lately? You're like this, drive slowly. It's easy to discuss something. The Demon King held the steering wheel with one hand, sobbed for a moment, and said wrongly, My mom has been calling and nagging me lately. I made a lot of preparations to get you to move in, but you don't want to come. When my mom hears that you're not coming, she will definitely peel off my skin. Anyway, at that time we were also dead, let the storm come harder. Sheng's brain is completely blank. Rain and rain, you. You're serious. Seeing that her best friend didn't respond, she quickly turned to Suchen and begged, Suchen, please promise Xiaoyu quickly. I haven't been in love yet, I don't want to poop. Suchen nodded and said, Xiaoyu, I'll just move in. I'll listen to you, okay? You need to slow down first, speeding will result in fines. Upon hearing Suchen's voice, the Demon King sighed again, but his speed did not decrease at all. Her next sentence made Sheng and Suchen not calm down. P.S. New book release, please find the data below. Data is really important for new books, please support us greatly. Chapter 5. Demon King. You are my boyfriend. Suchen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. You are my boyfriend. Suchen. Sheng. Promise her quickly. A BMW was speeding on the elevated bridge, and surrounding vehicles were giving way. At this moment, the two people in the car were still in shock and holding their breath. Xiaoyu, you're like this. You. If you have any requirements, just tell me. I promise you everything, okay? You drive slowly. Upon hearing Suchen's words, the Demon King suppressed his ecstasy and looked over suspiciously, Really? Really? Suchen quickly nodded and pointed to the road ahead, saying, Look ahead, look at the road first. I won't lie to you, I won't go back on my word. Just loosen the accelerator a bit, okay? Sheng in the back row grabbed the handle with one hand and the seat belt with the other, his face turning pale. She really doesn't understand. Suchen has already agreed to live together, why hasn't the Demon King let go of the gas? Can't it be that Suchen really refused and couldn't bear to think about it? If I had known this, she wouldn't have let the Demon King drive anything. I would rather find a substitute driver. The Demon King only slowed down a bit and said calmly, Suchen, you can pretend to be my boyfriend. Ha! Upon hearing these words, Sheng was dumbfounded and said, Rain and rain, don't you know how to drink? Cohabitation is exaggerated enough, why should we just be boyfriends? Even if I saw Suchen's handsome appearance, I wouldn't confess it directly. Is the speed given for free worrying about getting involved? Suchen, the co-pilot, also looked surprised and instinctively said, Well, that's too much. The Demon King suddenly became excited and said, It's all my mother's intention. My parents urged me so hard and even kept me with you, afraid that no one wanted me. I don't care, you must help me. Please. Before the words could be finished, BMW suddenly made a sound of gas doors. The speed that had just dropped suddenly rose again. Now it's directly up 130. Sheng has no doubt that if this car had two wings, they would have already ascended to the sky and stood shoulder to shoulder with the sun. She was so scared that she quickly spoke up and said, "Suchen, promise her, please. You can be her boyfriend. As long as you are willing to agree, I can do whatever you want me to do." Seeing Sheng's desire for survival on his face, Suchen glanced at the dashboard again. The speed has already reached 130. He was also anxious in his heart and had to surrender. Okay. I know. So. I'll pretend to be your boyfriend and keep my aunt hidden. I know you've been under a lot of pressure lately, and we're all being urged to get married at our age. Cooperate with each other and act. What do you think? Coincidentally, his family is also urging him, and with the presence of the Demon King, it can be considered as dealing with his parents. The Demon King was satisfied when Suchen agreed. Anyway, as long as you keep it from your parents. Otherwise, with my mother's personality, I would definitely have to arrange for other men. Suchen is so excellent, isn't she better than others? Moreover, she has a good impression of Suchen. I haven't seen you for so many years, and I don't know about Suchen's situation. Anyway, we can cohabit now. You can take a closer look. Thinking of this, she nodded and said, "Then you still need to help me hide from my fans. They also know about you. When I start broadcasting later, you have to come over." Okay, I'll listen to you. Slow down, let's go home and discuss anything. I promise you everything. Suchen has finally realized that what is more important than life. A hint of joy appeared on the Demon King's small face. Su, you are so kind." After speaking, she released the accelerator and the speed immediately slowed down. Seeing the speed of the dashboard return to around 60, Suchen breathed a sigh of relief. "Xiaoyu, don't make such jokes in the future. It's too dangerous. If you have anything, just tell me directly." The Demon King Chicken nodded like a pecking rice and said, "You must not go back on your word. A man is a man, you must keep your word." Suchen looked speechless and said to herself, "The steering wheel is still in your hands. Do I dare to go back on my word? Don't worry, over the years from childhood to adulthood, have I broken my promise to you?" Upon hearing Suchen's words, the Demon King recalled and realized that his thoughts were indeed correct. Although Suchen often played tricks on him at that time, Suchen never broke his promise to himself. She remembers that Suchen even helped her buy sanitary pads. At that time, she heard online that the boy who was willing to buy sanitary napkins for girls must be true love. It was because of that incident that we had our confession later on. She joked with a smile and said, "Oh my, isn't he good? He's always a good man." Suchen sighed helplessly and said, "You haven't changed either, you're still so naughty." The Demon King chuckled and his mood immediately became incredibly happy. Not only did she live with Suchen, but she also pretended to be a boyfriend and girlfriend to deal with her mother. Yeah, hiss. At this moment, a gloomy sound came from behind. Are you two having a good atmosphere? Am I a light bulb? The Sheng behind frowned and gritted his teeth. These two gentlemen had a great time playing and even showed her off. She's like a clown, scared to the point where her legs are still weak. I promised not to let Suchen board the car, and I absolutely won't let Suchen enter the house. She should have anticipated this ending. I originally had a good live broadcast at home, but nothing happened. As a result, she came over exhausted and almost scared to death by the Demon King speeding. Now she has also been stuffed with dog food, which has helped the Demon King in Suchen. The more she thinks, the angrier she gets. Immediately said, "Wu Siyu, don't you have anything to say to me?" The Demon King only then remembered the little Sheng behind him. My best friend was called over and was surprised. She also felt very sorry in her heart. She did indeed cause Sheng to be wronged in this matter. So she comforted her with a guilty heart and said, Sheng, I was wrong. I'm sorry, okay, I'll personally take you home tonight and buy you a bunch of delicious food. Just forgive me, okay? Sheng snorted, a little snack is like sending me away. Who do you look down on? Wait. Suddenly, she was taken aback and her anger ignited. Wu Siyu, do you still want to drive me home tonight? P.S. Chapter 5. If you like it, please support us. We are looking for monthly tickets and evaluation tickets. Chapter 6. Enjoying the eyes. The Demon King has no face to see anyone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Enjoying the eyes. The Demon King has no face to see anyone. Hey, the Demon King learned from the recent cosplay game characters and sold a cute one. Yen stomped his feet in anger. It's already 4 p.m. now, and returning to the Demon King's house is at least after 5 p.m. How does she go home? The traffic jam during the evening rush hour can last until 7 or 8 o'clock. She's carrying so much luggage, can't she have to squeeze the subway? Thinking of this, she collapsed. Wu Siyu, you bastard. I was originally doing nothing at home, it was all for you and me. It was agreed before that you wouldn't drive me away. The Demon King quickly coaxed him and said, alright, I was wrong, Sheng. Anyway, since you're here, just stay with me for a few days. I'm afraid Suchen will attack me at night. With you around, let's sleep together and I'll feel much more at ease. Suchen shrugged beside her and said, Xiaoyu, you don't have to worry about this. I will definitely not attack you at night. Upon hearing this, the Demon King wrinkled his small nose and his big eyes were filled with coquettishness. Do you think I'm not pretty enough to attract you? After speaking, BMW's engine erupted into a violent roar. Suchen. As he watched the car speed break through 100 again, he quickly explained, Xiaoyu, I didn't mean that. Don't misunderstand, don't step on the gas. The Demon King snorted lightly, his eyes slightly curved with a smile, and asked in reverse, do you have any thoughts on that? Humph, big bad wolf. Sheng, you must protect me. Suchen. Who's the naughty wolf? I want to add more sin. He wanted to refute, but unfortunately the accelerator was under someone's feet. Helplessly sighed, let's let the sour wolf be the sour wolf, life is still important. Anyway, he won't ride in the Demon King's black car anymore. Seeing Suchen's gloomy expression, the Demon King felt proud and pleased in his heart. After being bullied for so many years when I was a child, I finally regained my city. After driving for over an hour, the car also parked in the underground parking garage of the Champ's AES Garden. Xiangxie Garden is a good upscale residential area. Although compared to the large flat mansions in the city center, for a girl living alone, this place is indeed acceptable. Take the elevator up, enter the password, and the door will open. The space inside suddenly opened up. Sheng, can you take Suchen to see the room? I'll go prepare for the live broadcast and explain it to the fans well. Speaking, the Demon King kicked off his shoes and hurriedly entered the room. Sheng felt very anxious in his heart. She has androphobia. Although she is not tired or afraid of Suchen, this is still her first time getting so close to a boy. You can change your shoes first, it's in the shoe cabinet. Sheng was like a kitten, holding back his small hands with some restraint. Suchen opened the shoe cabinet, but the slippers inside were obviously a bit small. Sheng also noticed this and looked at Suchen again. Wearing larger shoes also means being taller. Sure enough, she had to lift her head to see Suchen's face. This height must be 185, right? She couldn't help but feel a little surprised. And she's only a little over 1.6 meters. What is the height difference of the cutest person? She shook her head, shook off those thoughts, and explained, there are no boys coming here, so. Suchen smiled and said, it's okay, just go to the supermarket and buy some tonight. Anyway, the indoor space is all flooring, so it's okay if there are no slippers. Next, Sheng served as a guide and led Suchen around the room. This house is approximately 180 square meters. 3 bedrooms and 2 living rooms, 1 kitchen and 1 bathroom. There are also study rooms and miscellaneous rooms. To be honest, for Suchen, this house is simply pitiful in size. But for the Demon King, it's different. A girl living here alone will probably feel scared. 3 bedrooms, 1 for Demon King and Sheng, and the other for live streaming. The last bedroom is his. So he carried his luggage and walked towards his room. Wait a minute. Don't. At this moment, the Demon King suddenly realized something. Thinking of this, her face changed drastically and she quickly rushed out of the live broadcast room to stop it. But it's already too late. Suchen had already arrived at the bedroom door, turned the bedroom door handle, and pushed open the door. Click. Looking at the bed that originally belonged to him, with a pile of scattered close-fitting clothes and several sets of COS clothes, Suchen pursed her lips. Isn't this right? Is there any problem with the way it is opened? The room is indeed very clean and tidy, but this extra thing is really a bit eye-catching. The Demon King was in chaos, causing a big red face and quickly rushed up to bet on Suchen's eyes. Don't look. She also just remembered changing clothes during yesterday's live broadcast. Because the content of her live broadcast is to wear COS clothing and interact with fans. Yesterday, she changed several sets of clothes and the bedroom couldn't be opened, so she came to the bedroom here to change it temporarily. As a result, she forgot about it. Those are the clothes she just changed into. Suchen was confused and looked down at the Demon King, Little Rain, these clothes. The Demon King blushed and explained, these are the clothes I wore when I started broadcasting yesterday. I haven't had time to tidy them up yet. Anyway, don't watch them, forget them quickly. But didn't you say you had already prepared it for me? The Demon King doesn't know how to explain. Prepare a hammer. At that time, it was just a casual remark actually, she never thought about letting Suchen move in at all. Who would have thought that the plan couldn't keep up with the changes? Anyway, now is not the time to explain. The top priority is to put away your clothes. After all, Suchen can see it any time now. I'll pack up right away. She hurriedly pushed Suchen away and rushed into the bedroom. I really don't have the face to see anyone now. Chapter 7. Mysterious shareholders with 20% equity. Penguins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 8. Demon King. When I saw him, You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Demon King. When I saw him, I gave my child a good name. Xiangxie Garden. In the room, the Demon King quickly put his close-fitting clothes into the storage box, and Sheng also helped to stack the COS clothes neatly. I don't know who said they wouldn't let Suchen move in. It's embarrassing now, right? Sheng's tone was filled with a sense of helplessness and regret that iron could not turn into steel. The Demon King's face was hot and dry, and he stuttered in defense, saying, well. It wasn't my mother's order yet. Pooh. Before leaving, you said you wanted to resist to the end and persist in free love. He also said he doesn't have any feelings for Suchen and wants to send him away. You clearly see that Suchen is handsome and foolish. Sheng gave the Demon King a cold glare in anger. This guy has one virtue when he goes out, and another virtue when he comes back. Saying she's a crazy girl, she dares to refute and push the blame onto her parents. What a thick skin. Seeing that his best friend had exposed him, the Demon King begged him to smile and said, "Isn't it because I've seen each other and felt something again? Who knew Chen had become so handsome? Hee, the first time I saw him, I even thought of his child's name." Seeing the Demon King's shameless appearance, Sheng stuck out his tongue. She realized for the first time that a woman can be so shameless for the sake of a handsome guy. To be honest, isn't Chen quite handsome? As he spoke, the Demon King poked Sheng with his elbow and joked, "I see you're okay with your androphobia." I didn't expect the Demon King to ask so bluntly, and Sheng's eyes were a bit flustered. She pretended to be calm and said, "Handsome is indeed handsome, anyway he gives me a different feeling." By the way, you really don't want to date Chen, do you? Although they were childhood sweethearts, they only came back a few hours ago. Your old relationship reignited, isn't it a bit too fast? Cleverly shifting the topic, Sheng turned to the Demon King. The Demon King put away all his small clothes and thought, "Let it be natural, observe and observe first. By the way." Her eyes lit up and she grabbed Sheng's hand. Sheng, why don't you help me test him? How about that? Hey. Okay. Sheng didn't expect the Demon King to take notice of him. "You two are in a relationship, why did you drag me in?" She originally intended to say that, but for some reason, she reluctantly agreed. Seeing Sheng nodding, the Demon King happily pecked Sheng's face. "It's my good sisters." At this moment, the Demon King never expected that she would personally separate her future husband. "I never expected that with such a casual promise, I would spend the rest of my life together." After packing all his clothes, the Demon King carefully searched around and made sure he didn't have anything of his own before pushing the door open and going out. At this moment, Chen was sitting on the sofa in the living room, reading a book. Since having the golden finger to acquire skills through reading, he hardly wants to waste any minute or second. Because every time he finishes reading a book, he can gain new insights. Seeing Chen tirelessly, both the Demon King and Sheng couldn't help but sigh in their hearts. A top student is truly a top student, it's all about hard work. A boy who loves reading books is very attractive. Suchen, the room is organized. You just promised to help me deal with my fans. I'll have a live broadcast later, so you should come in. The Demon King held the storage box and whispered a reminder, afraid of disturbing Chen's reading. Upon hearing this, Chen put down his book and nodded with a smile, saying, "Okay, you can call me anytime. However, as an exchange, you have to take me to the supermarket to sell some daily necessities after the broadcast." The Demon King felt a bit embarrassed when she heard this. Previously, she said she had prepared it for Chen, but she didn't even prepare slippers. Isn't this just revealing that she was motivated to hijack someone and bring them back? The more she thought, the more shy she felt, and quickly pointed out the window. "Ciao. The supermarket is not far, it's downstairs." But she forgot to hold the storage box for her close-fitting clothes in her hand. The result can be imagined. Wow! The box fell heavily to the ground, the lid was taken out, and the contents inside were scattered all over the ground. Plum blossoms bloom twice. Chen has already covered her ears. Ah ah ah. The entire champs. Elise garden was filled with the exclamation of the Demon King. A few minutes later, in the room where the Demon King was live streaming. Rain, are you okay? Sheng couldn't help but comfort the Demon King as he lay alone on the table, feeling helpless. "Don't worry about me, let me go poop." Sob. "It's really embarrassing. I have never been so embarrassed since I was young." She never dreamed that one day she would lie on the ground in front of a boy, trying to protect her little clothes from being seen. In this scene, she really wanted to cry without tears. At that moment, she seemed to be lying on the ground pretending to be dead. Puff. Whoa whoa. Sheng stayed in Bungbu and turned his face to secretly smile. To be honest, the scene just now was indeed very comical. She wants to take a photo as a souvenir. The Demon King could hear it clearly and immediately felt embarrassed and angry, saying, Sheng. You're still laughing at me. I don't have love anymore. Woo woo. Cut, who loves you? Go to Suchen who loves you. You're just embarrassing yourself, don't you make me laugh. Sheng picked up his arm and, pooh, the Demon King, then turned his head to one side. Hey hey. Sheng, are you jealous? The Demon King chuckled and hugged Sheng, because Sheng was so cute now. Are you jealous? What's there to eat? Are you looking for someone to care about? Let go of me. Seeing Sheng pouting angrily, the Demon King tightly hugged the struggling Sheng and smiled, I was wrong. Don't be angry, Sheng sighed helplessly, unable to understand. She had just comforted the Demon King, but now she has reversed 2 levels and become the Demon King to comfort her. Alright, hurry up and start the live broadcast. Take a look at your live room. What's going on now? As she spoke, she pointed to the barrage. At this time, it hasn't started broadcasting yet, but the live broadcast room has over 100,000 popularity points. The barrage is also rolling. Give me back the Demon King. Open the door. Open the door. Demon King, you unprincipled woman. Why is the screen going black? Did the Demon King take the man home? No, I need an explanation, I don't accept it. The Demon King has abused fans thousands of times, and I treat him like my first love, crying loudly. JPG. Just seeing these barrage comments, the Demon King no longer wants to start broadcasting. As a Pigeon King, she really wants to just coo and coo today. But Sheng clearly wants her to explain it clearly. She had no choice but to live stream and face her fans. After spending a few minutes doing some simple makeup, she sent a start broadcast reminder and clicked on Start Live. In no time, there was a scene in the live broadcast room. At the same time, a large number of old fans also flooded into the live broadcast room. There are also many fans who are unaware of the situation and start scrolling as soon as they come in. I heard that the Demon King and the little brother are cohabiting. It's really fake, Kong. Chapter 9. Demon King announces love. Demon Queen Mother. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Demon King announces love. The Demon King's mother is so happy. In the live broadcast room of the Demon King. By the time it started broadcasting for about 10 minutes, the popularity had already surpassed 2 million. Many viewers came to eat melons as soon as they heard the news in their fan group. These people's barrage immediately submerged the barrage area, covering up the lemon extract barrage. Dove King, have your family arranged a date for you? The group said that the Demon King wants to live with his childhood sweetheart, right? Which guy is so lucky? Pull it out and take a look. Of course. There are also some people who know the ins and outs, talking about what happened in the afternoon in the live broadcast room. In the afternoon, the Demon King's mother called and asked the Demon King to pick up the phone. Then, Sheng turned off the live broadcast. It must be the Demon King who brought Suchen back. After a brief explanation in the barrage area, many people understood. Sure enough, nothing can escape the law of true fragrance. Ha ha ha, I'm laughing to death. Even if my Demon King jumped off here, he would never let Suchen get into my car. Oh my god, it's so fragrant. At this moment, some female fans in the live broadcast room jumped out when they heard of a handsome guy. Many young fans are actually fans of Sheng. Where are their handsome guys? Does the Demon King really smell good? Is he so handsome? Do you have any photos? No, there really isn't a man who can be even more handsome than Sheng, right? I don't think so. Can you be even more handsome than Sheng? Sheng's cos is the ceiling for handsome guys, right? Sheng YYDS. It is not uncommon to have fans of Sheng in the Mo Wang live broadcast room because Mo Wang and Sheng often stir up CP. To the surprise of the Demon King and Sheng, someone in the barrage area compared Suchen and Sheng. Sheng is a girl, but he likes male characters from COS, and the characters produced by COS are particularly handsome. This is almost universally evident. Just as there were many people arguing in the barrage area about who was more handsome, that group of lemon spirits also came out. Brothers, Sheng must have dropped the broadcast because the Demon King wanted to take Suchen onto the car. Right. I guess Suchen is already at the Demon King's house now. Woo. I envy you so much. I also want to live at the Demon King's house. Upstairs, you're thinking of peaches to eat. I bet the Demon King will definitely deny cohabitation in a while. She would probably say that she took Suchen to the hotel and didn't cohabit with him. I guess Suchen has already been hidden at home by the Demon King. Many fans have started to speculate. Because if a female anchor is exposed for dating, her popularity will plummet. Not in a romantic relationship, but cohabiting with a man can make fans lose their fans. So, even if they really fall in love, they will try their best to keep it a secret. Just as the fans in the live broadcast room were speculating. In another residential area in Mordo, Wang Xiaoyun, the mother of the Demon King, opened the computer. She actually kept a secret eye on her daughter's live broadcast room, and immediately rushed over after receiving the broadcast reminder. She wants to see if her daughter has been obedient and taken Suchen home. If not, she'll have to call and talk about it. At this moment, the Demon King is also watching the barrage. She needs to wait for her popularity to rise before starting to announce, otherwise it's very likely that not many people will hear. The most important thing is that she has to wait for her mother who is secretly watching her live broadcast to come in. Although my mom never says it, she knows she must be peeping. It's because my mom also watches live broadcasts that she officially announces in the live broadcast room. If my mother doesn't watch the live broadcast, she can keep it from her fans. When she saw the popularity of the live broadcast room approaching 3 million, she cleared her throat and turned on the microphone. Good evening everyone. Many people are talking about me and Suchen. So I need to explain to everyone. Before the Demon King could speak, the barrage area had already begun to commote. Stop talking, I guess what you're trying to say is a misunderstanding, right? I got in your car now, how could I not have gone home? Don't try to deceive us. You stinky pigeon. Beast's eyes are bright. Don't lie, let's face it. Upstairs, you are the beast, you should be the eyes of the masses. Pigeon King, you wouldn't really want to say that you didn't take Suchen home, would you? The fans in the live broadcast room have already started to rush to answer. As soon as they heard the Demon King's words, they knew he was going to default on his debts. However, upon seeing these barrage comments, the Demon King grinned and went straight to the point. What I want to say is that Suchen and I have already started dating. I, the Demon King, found my boyfriend today. Blessing, my family. What? As soon as these words were spoken, the barrage area fell silent on the spot. For a full 30 seconds, there was not even a barrage in the live broadcast room. No one expected that the Demon King would openly announce it. What surprised many people even more was that the Demon King admitted to his relationship with Suchen. I thought the Demon King would deny it, but it's really surprising. Soon, a barrage of bullets flooded over. Good guy. What's the situation? Wait a minute. Didn't you just meet? Why did you just date? That's right. Didn't we say we should live together first? Just. And then we'll fall in love. What happened during the few hours of this shutdown? I'll go, fake. This is too fast. No, I want to know the process. The words of the Demon King caught all fans off guard. Other female anchors are all denied by various scoundrels. As a result, when I arrived at the Demon King's place, not only did I admit to cohabitation, but I also officially announced my relationship. It's really unexpected. At this moment, Wang Xiaoyun, the mother of the Demon King, became excited. My daughter not only brought Suchen home, but also directly together. This is simply double happiness. She was worried before whether her daughter would live with Suchen for a period of time and then separate. Now, she just put her heart in her stomach. I didn't expect Xiaoyu to be so capable. On the other side. Xiangxie Garden. The Demon King saw that everyone didn't believe him and wanted to know the details, so he skillfully fabricated a lie. There's no process, just let nature take its course. We used to be childhood sweethearts, but now when we grow up and meet, we like to express ourselves directly to each other. Isn't that normal? I understand the other person too well, just one glance can tell their thoughts. Such nonsense, she said it without blushing. After listening to the explanation from the Demon King, the fans in the live broadcast room didn't quite believe it. It's really fake, why don't I believe it? Chapter 10. The Demon King's mother comes to check the room personally. Su. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. The Demon King's mother comes to check the room personally. Su Chen's appearance in the live broadcast room. Faced with the words of the Demon King, fans in the live broadcast room held a skeptical attitude. Scrolling the screen one after another on the barrage. Nonsense, what did you say in the live broadcast room in the afternoon about forgetting Su Chen? To be honest, what exactly did you do? Even childhood sweethearts, you haven't seen each other for years. How could it be so tacit? Oh. I understand. It's the Demon King acting. She wants to deceive her mother. As this barrage drifted past the computer screen, it echoed in unison. Everyone immediately reacted. Yes, the Demon King's mother has been urging him to fall in love these days. I'm laughing to death. The Demon King has colluded with Su Chen and wants to act. Is the Demon King's mother in the live broadcast room? I want to report it. How could it be that we fell in love right after we met? It's 100% a script. Seeing this, the Demon King immediately panicked. Are these fans all watching Conan grow up? Sherlock Holmes per capita. You can guess it all. She and Su Chen are just acting. I thought the live broadcast room would bring her the rhythm of dating, but she's already prepared with the lines to deal with it. I didn't expect this scene to be exposed before it even started. What should we do? On the other hand, Wang Xiaoyun, who was watching the live broadcast, picked up his phone and was ready to call his daughter to bring good news. But seeing these bullet comments, I put up my phone again. She thinks these bullet comments make perfect sense. It's only been a few hours since we last met, how could we possibly fall in love? Xiaoyu can't be Lianhe Suchen, you want to deceive me. With such doubts in mind, she calmed down and wanted to hear her daughter's explanation first. In the live broadcast room, the Demon King quickly spoke up and started making up. Okay, even if you insist on talking about the process. The thing is. This way. She rolled her big eyes and opened her mouth, saying, actually, Su Chen saw that I was beautiful and now I have so much money. I am a fair and beautiful person, and then he confessed directly. Oh, there's nothing I can do. Who makes me so charming? Originally, I planned to consider it for a few days, after all, he is also quite handsome. But he said he has been secretly in love with me since childhood, and even after studying abroad, he thinks about me every day. I was moved by him, and when my heart softened, I agreed. It's just that simple. After listening, the next speaker was filled with question marks on the spot. What? How could this person be so shameless? Who chased after who? Don't you have a 13 in your heart? How could you be too embarrassed to say such a thing? Who was speeding on the elevated bridge and forcing Suchen to live together? Who shamelessly made Suchen pretend to be his boyfriend? She really wants to say all these things. At this moment, fans in the live broadcast room also began to argue. Is it so outrageous? Isn't that so? Suchen, an overseas student or a top student in the finance department, would pursue you like this. Pigeon King, make a draft of your lies. I don't believe it anyway. Some fans don't believe it, but some true fans do. My Demon King is so beautiful, it's normal to be remembered. Damn it, it was Suchen who took the initiative to speak up. This SP. It must have been initiated by Jianshi. Demon King, he must be greedy for your beauty. Don't believe him. Seeing someone believe on the barrage, the Demon King was overjoyed. Anyway, only if someone is willing to believe it. She put on a nonchalant appearance. Believe it or not, it's up to you. Anyway, Suchen and I are together. The fans in the live broadcast room suddenly had no choice. If the Demon King refuses to admit to cohabitation, they can mindlessly refuse to believe it. But now the Demon King is openly talking about dating. How do they confirm? Just as everyone was racking their brains to find out the truth, the Demon King's phone suddenly rang. Old. Mom. The Demon King hurriedly answered the phone, and soon Wang Xiaoyan's voice came from over there. Xiaoyu, Mom is watching your live broadcast again now. I heard you talk to Suchen. Upon hearing his mother's questioning, the Demon King appeared somewhat guilty and stuttered in agreement. We talked. Wang Xiaoyun in front of the computer let out a cold snort in her heart. Wu Xiyu was born and raised by herself. For over 20 years, how could she not see through? She knew there was a ghost in her daughter's guilty expression. So she opened the door and said to the mountain, Xiaoyu, call Suchen to the live broadcast room, and I'll talk to him. Hey! The Demon King's face turned pale instantly. She knew her mother was watching the live broadcast. She originally planned to have Suchen come in and show her face later. But I didn't expect to call directly. What if it's exposed? What's wrong, Xiaoyu? What are you doing in a daze? You're not lying to me, are you? Upon hearing his mother's voice, the Demon King's heart was half cold. He quickly apologized and said, Mom, what are you talking about? How could I possibly deceive you? I'm going to call Suchen. After speaking, the Demon King quickly got up and went outside. The fans in the live broadcast room immediately applauded. Speak of Chow Chow, the Demon King's mother is here. It's amazing. The Demon King's mother is in the live broadcast room. This is too showy, isn't it? Look at the Demon King's cowardly behavior. Haha, you've kicked the iron plate now. There's a Demon King's mother, I'll see how the Demon King acts. At this moment, in the living room, the Demon King rushed out with a panicked expression on his face and said, Suchen, it's an emergency. My mother watched my live broadcast and learned about our relationship. She wants to see you. Calm down. Suchen could tell from the appearance of the Demon King that even outsiders could tell she was lying, let alone her own mother. After understanding the ins and outs of the situation, Suchen decided to go in. Because after passing the level of the Demon King's mother, his mother's side naturally passed. As far as he knew, the Demon King's mother had close ties with his own mother. If he falls in love with the Demon King, his own mother will definitely know. Thinking of this, he smiled and said, Don't worry, leave it to me. Upon hearing Su Chen's words, the Demon King immediately calmed down. I don't know why, but I always feel that Su Chen is very reliable. After they entered the live broadcast room, Sheng consciously stood up and gave Su Chen a chair. The next moment, Su Chen's figure appeared on the live broadcast screen. The live broadcast room suddenly became boiling. I'll go, is this Su Chen? He's too handsome, isn't he? Although I am a man, I have to admit that this guy is really handsome. Hiss. Is this the Demon King's boyfriend? I'm panicking now, brothers. I'm a bit panicked too. Just by seeing Su Chen's appearance, male fans have already believed the words of the Demon King by 8%. With just this appearance, not to mention the Demon King, even a woman would crave it. And the female fans in the live broadcast room, as well as many fans of Sheng. They didn't originally believe that Su Chen was very handsome, but now they are all dumbfounded. Wow, little brother is so handsome. I retract my previous words, Su Chen is indeed even more handsome than Sheng. Isn't it true that there can be such a handsome person with a bare face? Which celebrity is he, right? I love him. At this moment, Su Chen picked up the phone on the table. At this time, the call is still ongoing. P.S. New January, please ask for a monthly pass. Also, Happy April Fool's Day. The author was just fooled, so angry.